I can get to a point where I could just do one of these, you know. So, but absolutely, yeah. I definitely want to get to that point where we can just do the solo act and be able to like move forward with that. You know?
But I mean, you're technically already the solo side of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right now, Life Jennings is the benefactor in terms of supporting local career,
yes,
but balancing them two and just being an artist outright, like you're not working somebody's 9 to 5.
Yeah.
How scary is that?
I mean, because
you're still a young man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty scary in that sense, but it's like I feel like it's fitting too, because like I said, like the money that we use with life, like I always reinvest into exactly what I'm doing. So what it's doing is helping me build like what I got going on right now.
Are we saving though? We saving,
of course.
Okay.
Of course.
That's important. Are we all saving? We all saving.
Nice.
I learned that lesson.
It's a struggle.
See, Rob is honest. Rob was like, I'm trying.
So what's new? So I know the album just coming out. The
EP. It's not an album yet. The album is gonna come a little later on, but we're working.
See, they just give you a little bit, a little taste here, a little taste there.
I take EP seriously though. I would want the EP to be very quality stuff. It's gonna feel like an album, but it's an EP for sure.
So why do it this way? I know this is management, but why not just jump out there like any other novice performer?
Well, my thing is that like she doesn't. First of all, like we don't believe in like the novice performer mentality in that sense. Like we want to be able to like do it as professionally as possible. So like in that sense, like
TGIW, you listening to the Be Inspired Radio Show. TGIW family. Hey everybody, welcome to the Be Inspired Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com with your girl Miss Be Inspired. HL7, Azro, and Blizzard are on their way up to the studio. Hopefully everyone is having a fabulous Wednesday. I'm so happy that you're hanging out with us tonight. It's an awesome day to be great and to be inspired. Here's the team.
Push it close.
Yes.
There we go.
They're here.
Hello.
Gang all back in effect.
I know, right? It's been like, what, a month?
It's been a minute.
Sheesh.
It's been a minute, absolutely.
It's only been 2 weeks, Foz.
But it felt like it's been forever.
It does.
Right. 2 weeks is 2 weeks too long.
Yeah.
When we have been apart from each other. So, what's going on in Blizzard's world? Let me give Azro a chance. Let me come back to you. Let's catch your breath.
Let's go.
What's going on in HL7 Azro's world?
In my world, I was going through a lot. Had lack of motivation, lack of everything, but now I'm back. I'm cool. I have new motivation for now, and I'm just chilling.
Good. New motivation is always wonderful and great. And all those wonderful things. All right, what's going on in Blizzard's world?
Just working hard. That's about it. I finished training at my other job, so I should start my regular schedule.
Let's get some bell love. Wait a minute, that bell sounds sick. I was like, what's going on?
It was because the court.
I start my regular schedule next week.
Okay.
And I'll be by myself.
Go ahead.
My own truck.
Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. Yay, upgrade. No, that's right. Well,
how about you, Miss Be Inspired?
Oh, I'm doing good. You know how it is when you have to handle business. You know, that's stuff that you don't want to have to really do, but you have to do it. So that's what my day was like today. I had to handle some business. And sometimes it's like irritating because it seems like nothing is working out. And that's how I felt this morning. I was telling Azro before the show, I had to go to the state building, and the GPS sent me all the way to the police station. I actually got out my car, went in the police station. They were like, ma'am, this is not the building that you want. You got to go up the road. I went up the road. The GPS sent me to a restaurant. I was like,
I would have been mad.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
So eventually what I did was I turned the GPS off. I was like, I've had enough of you, GPS. You're not doing your job. And when I did that, I actually found my way a lot better.
Nice.
That means we need to go back to maps.
Right.
Actual paper maps.
I mean, like, old Betsy was not doing her job on today. sent me all down to the police department and to the restaurant. That's what I call my GPS. Don't laugh. Her name is Betsy.
It'll be more accidents though. We go back to paper maps. People be driving.
Okay.
Like,
Oh please.
So honestly, I feel like the only bad thing with paper maps is that you can't fold it back up. Once it's open, it's open.
yeah, it'll never be folded back up the same.
Well,
Because
see,
I tried that with the amusement park maps. I'd be like, all right, so how do I
is
fold this? And
true.
they be like, just do this,
Right.
this, and they hand it back to me, and I'm like, I'm just not opening that back
it
up.
never goes back to the same way it was. That is the truth.
Because it's so complicated.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like,
It sticks right out.
Yeah.
right. It's like you say, okay, you said fold it this way, and
Right.
it just looks wrong, and it's just like, how? Like, how did you get it to fold so easily? Like,
Ah, the joys of life.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, for those who are
Frustrating
just
part.
tuning in, thank you so much for hanging out with us, the Be Inspired Radio Show team. Again, this is Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
We always go through this.
Don't we?
you're always
It's
second.
always a battle. Which one of y'all is going to go next?
It's been a couple weeks, man. Come on.
All right.
You already know your boy Blizzard.
And the artist at Angel HL7 Azrael.
Listen, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And you already know the drill. We need you to just go ahead and invite all your
of
friends.
We don't even do 10 anymore.
Nah.
All of them.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah.
Might as well.
And-
You
Won't
and-
do
fun
anything.
again later if you get mad.
Right.
Watch him get angry. Yelling at a screen.
me to nothing I ain't got nothing to do with.
I know.
Just
right.
blame us. You were just following orders.
Uh-huh. So go ahead and invite all of your friends. And you know what I love about this station is that we provide a bunch of ways for you to tune in. So if you want to tune in via Facebook Live, you can go to the Be Exposed Radio Facebook page. So that just means you go in the search bar, put in Be Exposed Radio, and you'll be able to see our live video there. Or you can go to www.beexposedradio.com. You can check us out there. And guess what? We're also on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and subscribe to Be Exposed Radio, and you'll be able to see our video.
More options, more ways to listen.
Boom.
Trademark.
Yeah. Thank you. You know I try. I try to be as creative as I can be. You know. Also, this weekend, I had a very eventful weekend. It was good, but it was eventful. I had the pleasure of going to the Stomp the Runway for Autism event.
I drove past that. It was packed.
Yes.
How was it?
Amazing.
It was packed.
It was amazing. First of all, everything. Shout out to Derek Dixon and Summer and the whole Stomp the Runway committee and team. Y'all blew it out the box. And guess what? So when I got there, I was in regular seating, and I was like, I was cool with that. Where I was sitting was cool, right? Your girl got bumped up to VIP. Yes, I did. And I was sitting on the front row with the big wigs.
Hey, uh-oh.
Marilyn Mosby was there. I was sitting up there with Marilyn Mosby and her assistant. And
you get up there.
The perks of being Miss Be Inspired. Yes. I was upgraded to VIP.
Right where you belong. You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean? Right where you belong, sis.
I appreciate that. But the show was, it was amazing designers. The designs were amazing. They had a bathing suit, designer there. They had, what else? It's swimwear. That's the better way to say it. Swimwear collection. They had a jean, like a denim collection. Shoe City was there.
Hey.
And they had their models there. The whole thing was amazing. And then in between the performances in the second half, they were showing videos of some of the autistic children and their family. And it was just so touching. And then there was a video from Kim Fields. Yep. She gave a video. It was just so awesome. So I was grateful to be part of that. Okay, so we got to push them. Okay. Blizz, push your mic down. Oh, this one? Okay, push it all the way down. Okay, there we go.
Right.
How's that? Was that in the way of the camera?
I'm scared to touch these.
Was that in the way?
mics.
Can y'all see us now? This microphone was blocking my beautiful face. We had to fix that.
I'm scared to touch these microphones.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm touching that microphone. I
our head would be rolling on the ground. And he come in here and see us touching the microphones.
I'm going right out the window. I'm so serious.
Monty, we don't want no trouble on the Be Inspired Radio Show. We doing all right. We want to keep it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't know, Monty is the owner of Be Exposed Radio. You wouldn't know it because he's so incognito. Like when I first joined the Be Inspired Radio Show team, actually I met Nate first. And then what happened? So I was brought into the office where Monty was, and we were talking and everything like that. And then Nate was like, he's the owner. I was like, oh. I was like, oh.
He's so chill,
I had
man.
no idea that he was the owner. He's really humble. He don't carry it like that at all. So shout out to Monty. For real. I mean, don't get him wrong though. He will set you straight. But
He's wild.
But he's an awesome guy. So thank you so much, Monty, for giving all of us here at Be Exposed Radio an opportunity to shine.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Providing this platform for us. And you can't go very many places and have a platform like this where you can just be free to be you. And you know, it's all, you know, all that competition, you know, all that squashed. You know, we're working on making it a family unit here at Be Exposed Radio. So, and I'm proud to be part of the team. Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got off track just a little bit. I wanted to talk some more about Stomp the Runway for Autism. Shout out to Derek Dixon, Summer, the whole team. I wish I could call everybody's name, but the whole team, y'all did an amazing job. It was done with such excellence. And I've been to some fashion shows, and I was like, well, you know, but this was done with excellence. When you came in, the strobe lights, the even the runway was done with excellence. And then they had like a decal in the middle of the runway that had Stomp the Runway for Autism.
Wow.
And I mean, it was just from beginning to end, everything was timely. Got in, got out. You weren't there all night. Like he said, it started on time.
Ended on time.
And ended on time. It was amazing. So shout out to the team. I was happy to be part of it. Oh, my bestie Kendra was there. She was actually in charge of the hostesses.
Oh.
Looking fabulous. Her outfit was so high. I was like, girl, I'm here to borrow that. Although I probably can't even fit her clothes. She's way smaller than me.
Well, Alicia hook you up?
Well, actually, I hooked myself up.
Excuse me.
I did.
Oh, she's learning.
I am, and actually,
we need to see some pictures.
Valicia, she teaches you. If you don't know who Valicia is, she is the founder of Fashionably Chic Tour, and she is a fashion tour guide and expert. She will teach you how to go into your closet and find stuff that's in there already, and kind of put that stuff together and make a fly outfit. You know, because a lot of times, you know, ladies, how we do. When we know we have an event to go to, what do? We go straight to the store and buy a whole new outfit. Most of us do that. We be like, I don't have nothing to wear, right?
Whole time, no, you gotta
have everything to wear.
Exactly.
See, that's why people always get mad at me for being a guy, because I'm just like, I just like put on jeans and a shirt.
Yeah, we good. We good.
Right. Like, you know,
this is cool.
Like, yes, I have a problem with that because we gotta do the whole nine.
Yeah,
we gotta make sure the hair is right, the makeup is right, the outfit is right, and the shoes are right. We gotta make sure.
White tee, some jeans, call it a day.
And then a hoodie. Once you put on the hoodie,
it don't
everything
even matter.
comes together.
Right.
You can wear any shirt you want.
Exactly.
Like, no
boo to y'all. Anyway. I'm about to give some shout outs. Ebony, oh my gosh. Okay, so if y'all don't know who Ebony is, she is the creator of Ouch Girl apparel.
Okay.
Yes, I was in the fashion show with her. She is so amazing. I love you so much, Ebony. Thank you so much for tuning in. Decoy, saying peace to the fam. Okay, Miss Zena, we always know she gonna be tuning in, right?
Shout she want a book too.
Trina, hey Trina, how you doing? Thank you so much. Bernadette, how you doing? Vivian, our girl Vivian, who is definitely a friend of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, Valicia is she's tuned in. What's going on, girl?
I forgot. I have
a
question for you.
What?
How was your birthday?
Oh yeah, we did. No, we did not. We popped sparkling cider.
Yes, we did.
Sparkling cider.
Yeah.
No, sparkling cider bottles.
It's okay. You're trying to cover it up now.
It wasn't alcoholic.
It's okay.
It was cider.
Woo, y'all.
I already know it was cider, but
don't be making me sweat up in here.
Still popping bottle though.
Yeah.
Do not be making me sweat up in here. Woo.
It's still popping bottle. Yeah.
Woo. Hey, Queen Fiend. Queen just jumped on. What's going on, Queen? How you doing? All right, my birthday was awesome. I'll tell you after the break, though, because we all get ready to have a break. I didn't get the chance to say half the stuff I wanted to say. Oh, yeah. So, me and my daughter hung out with the Baltimore Huns. Well, let me just stop saying that. I am a Baltimore Hun.
Right.
I am a Baltimore Hun. And we went to feed the veterans on Sunday. And I took my daughter with me. Yes. So that was cool. Actually, you can find the Baltimore Huns doing all kinds of stuff all over the city. A lot of charitable events. A lot of people call on the Baltimore Huns just to make their event more fun, more bright, because you know we're going to come in with the craziest clothes. Like I had on leopard pants. and I had a head wrap and these big red earrings. Oh, yeah. So we came in looking awesome as we do as the Baltimore Huns. What else I want to talk about? Okay, so let me just wait until after the break because I do have some other stuff that I want to discuss with you. So if you're just tuning in, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you so much. Stay tuned. We're getting ready to take a break. When we come back, more with the Be Inspired Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice Products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice Products today.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
All right, great. Can you come on. I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? God damn her. If it was going right, I would let you do your part, but I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be. You're live on the air. I told you mind your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holiday situation, I know I'm live
on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately. Anyway, let's get back to every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. In the building, we have live Mr. Michael Ryder. There we go. And Mr. Steve Yarn. They're doing a partnership based on what was it again? The stories of the Vulcan Blazers. An awesome production that they have coming up. And now the name of it will be called Baltimore Heat. There we go. They were telling us a little bit about, they're in the pre-production phase of developing this Baltimore-based production. It seems like a really awesome idea, and I always love for more artistic events to come here, and because it's more of an event because you guys are going to actually use Baltimore as your complete backdrop of the city, and that's very awesome to hear.
Yeah, we want people to fall in love with this project through the visions and the tales we're going to tell about these firefighters, but also we want them to fall in love with the city of Baltimore. Just like they did with Miami Vice and Chicago Fire and NYPD Blue and
Sex in the City,
and all these other places that have the city as a star as much as the artists and the actors are.
And that's Baltimore has for many years have been the backdrops of many movies. I could think of a few Whoopi Goldberg movies, Sleepless in Seattle. A lot of these movies that have always used Baltimore as a scene. Not to mention The Wire and Homicide, and countless other movies, House of Cards. All these movies and television shows have always used it, but it was never really about Baltimore. They always included Baltimore in the story, or the backdrops, or certain historical scenery,
things they absolutely needed to say.
And, but and House of Cards actually shoots in Baltimore. But they're saying that it's Washington D.C.
Right.
Yeah. So they're shooting here and not even giving us credit for the place we're here.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on Be Exposed
everybody.
Radio.
This is your girl, the one and only Vic Cows. Check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
With our parents, they gotta have the best of everything, or when you go to school you gonna kill them. You know what I mean? And then you look and it's like, did you have it like that when you was in school? Nah, girl, my parents, I had to go to school with stuff, old tennis shoes and stuff like that. I ain't gonna let my kids go there, but a decent pair of tennis shoes, a decent slacks, whatever. I'm kind of glad that they did the uniforms.
Oh my God, they did the uniforms right while I was leaving.
They did the uniforms. It was like 2 years behind me right after I left from school. And I'm like, oh man, it saved a lot for our parents. It helped the parents a lot. But still, they still found the way to live vicariously through their kids.
Yeah. Because like with my daughter's school, when she was in school, as long as she wore the shirt, the school shirt, she could wear.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. TGIW. This is your girl, Miss B Inspired, on the mic.
Yeah. You already know one of the co-hosts, Blizzard.
And the artisan Angel HL7 Azrael.
I want to thank everybody. He sure did.
And the artisan HL7.
He meant that one, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's all right. That's all right. I want to thank everybody. We want to thank everybody who is tuned in tonight. We appreciate you so much, and thank you to everybody who stayed tuned during the break. We appreciate you so much. Please do us a favor and share this video out to as many people as you can, all of your friends. We have plenty of ways for you to tune in. If you can tune in via Facebook Live at Be Exposed Radio. You can also go to YouTube and subscribe to Be Exposed Radio, and then you can also go to www.beexposedradio.com. We appreciate you so much. We love you so much that we wanted to make sure you had plenty of different ways to tune in. Yep, that's what we wanted to do. Also, we want to hear from you. Call us at 410-702-5657. Tonight, our topic is definitely one that I believe a lot of people need to hear, want to hear. We're talking about Let's Talk About It in observance of Mental Health Awareness Day and Month. We're going to be taking a stress test during the show at some point. We're going to just see how we're doing. We're going to check it out. Jeez. I know.
Not very well.
A stress assessment. A
couple weeks ago, bro, I'd be at the max.
So we're going to do that a little later on in the show.
Right.
I want to see. I need to see what's stressing y'all.
You don't.
I want to see how y'all feeling. And the good thing about this test is that you, the listeners, are able to take the test with us. So that's what's fun about it. I'll ask you the questions, and then you'll record your answers, and then we'll see at the end how you scored. So you definitely have to stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun.
There's going to be a lot of red flags in this show.
Oh my gosh, yes.
A lot of red flags.
I know. And it's kind of crazy because October, so when I did some research online to find out exactly what this month represents. And so for October there were like 20 different awarenesses for the month, but the ones that I really want to pull out is breast cancer awareness, National Mental Illness Awareness, Domestic Violence and Awareness Month, and Anti-Bullying Month. So that's what October is representing. But tonight we're going to focus on the mental health. I'm not going to say mental illness. I'm going to say mental health, because that's what I want us to focus on. The main thing about mental health is changing your mindset. So we're going to change our language a little bit and focus on mental health, because we want to get to a place where we are overcoming and we're able to cope with the different stressors that are in life. And it's crazy because we're living in a really strange time with all of the national disasters. Of course, you know, a lot of controversy and tension with our government and racial divides. So there's a lot going on that can really impact your mental health. And so we're going to tackle some of that tonight. So you gotta stay tuned. Also, we're going to open the phone lines because we want you to share too some of your experiences.
Please
and
do.
Again, absolutely. And again, that number is 410-702-5657. We invite you to call in and just share your experiences. If you have any questions, I am no expert, but I've gone through mental health issues myself. Actually, and when I was 18 years old, I was diagnosed with panic disorder and depression. And so I'm 35 now, and over those years, I have gone through some things to help me cope with that and to be healed. So I'm at the point where I'm able to function. I'm at the point where I'm sitting in a radio station. So you can overcome mental illnesses, but you have to make sure you get the proper help. You can't hide it. That's why we're going to be talking about it tonight. That's the worst thing you can do, is hide it.
Don't do what I did.
So we're going to talk about that tonight. Also, I wrote a chapter in the book Wisdom on the Wall. Absolutely shameless plug.
Speaking of that, my mother, if I don't say this now, my mother's going to, I'll probably get a beat when I get home. My mother want that book.
Okay. Yeah, so we gotta make sure Miss Zena gets
it. A beat, you feel me? It's like, no, I ain't gonna get a beat, but yeah, she said.
Yeah, we gotta make sure she gets this book.
I was like, all right, Mom, I got you.
All right, Mama Zena, we gonna make sure you get this book, okay? So, but yes, I am a co-author in this book. It is called Wisdom on the Wall. Wisdom on the Wall. And I wrote an entire chapter on anxiety. The chapter is called The Woman with Anxiety. And I go into some detail about some of the symptoms that a woman with anxiety has. And definitely women in particular have a lot of triggers, including hormones and other things. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit too tonight. So you have to stay tuned. It is going to be an amazing show. Also, later on in the show, we have Aisha Edwards. Whoop, 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 whoop. She is the founder of Do It All Girl. She is a finance expert. She's going to be talking to us about real estate investment and home buying.
Wow. That's actually such a coincidence. I'm about to go into real estate myself.
Really?
This guy.
Okay, so you know she's gonna be asking you some
everything.
Questions. She's gonna be asking you some questions tonight. Yeah, she's coming in tonight. Yeah, she's coming in. When we come back from the break, I'm still getting birthday gifts, and when you're, I'm gonna say semi-celebrity, people do send you free things.
Don't put semi in it. You're a celebrity,
right? People do send you free things. So I had somebody to send me a inbox message, and they sent me a free birthday card. So when we come back from the break, I gotta show you this dope card. It is amazing. They even put a picture of me in it, like. Yeah,
I'm about to get a P.O. box now.
Right, absolutely, because I don't want nobody sending nothing to my, home address. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a P.O. box. But anyway, stay tuned, family. We'll be back in just a minute. We're getting ready to take a break. There will be more of the Be Inspired Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
I agree. Can you come on? I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud?
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
So you're your biggest asset.
Mm-hmm.
You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle. Toxic, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? And if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every
check
Saturday,
out
12
what you
p.m. to
missed
2
on the
p.m.
one
live.
and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
So, since we're talking about the book, can you give people a synopsis of what the book is, and what's the name of the book again, and then what it's about?
The name of the book is From Trial to Afflictions. More than one, because there were more than one afflictions.
Yes.
The book is talking about, actually, it's my life story. And I have to add in there that when that prophet told me, he said, tell your story, write the story. He said, and God said, tell your addiction. Now, see, I'm not going to tell the addiction because you have to get the book to read it. But it was about deliverance. It was about all the, trials and tribulations we go through. People that come into our life, even people that come to try and break you down or draw you down so that you can't stand for God or worship Him through your situation, because that's the adversary using them. We have to know that. But through it all, I was still praying and fasting. I needed help from God. I really did. I needed help from God to see me through. And for anyone that's going through, I say that this book is about different afflictions.
Yes.
Going through them, how you get through them. And I had a sister pushing me to.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, family. TGIW, and thank you to everybody who is tuned in. And if you are just tuning in, welcome. This is Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
Yeah. You already know your boy Blizzard.
And the artisan angel HL7 Azrael.
And of course, we always ask that you share out this video to as many people as you can. Invite all of your friends and let them know that we have some amazing things happening on the Be Inspired Radio Show. Every week, we are here live every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com. And what's wonderful is that we have more than one way for you to tune in. You can also go to www.BeExposedRadio.com to tune in. You can also go to Facebook, to the Facebook Live page, Be Exposed Radio, and you can check us out there. And also, we're on YouTube. All you have to do is subscribe to Be Exposed Radio, and you'll be able to check out our show. Again, as always, we love hearing from you, so we ask that you give us a call at 410-702-5657. And tonight's show is going to be very interactive because we're talking about mental health awareness, because this month is deemed as Mental Health Awareness Month, and also yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day. So in observance of that, we decided to talk about those issues on our show tonight, and I'm excited to do that because if you didn't know, and if you're just tuning in, I shared before the break that I was diagnosed with panic disorder when I was 18 years old. It was something that I didn't know was hereditary. I ended up finding out some years later that my mom dealt with it and other family members dealt with it as well. But it kind of crept up on me. I was dealing with a situation that, I wasn't expecting it to show up then, but it ended up being a trigger. So this happens to a lot of different people. Sometimes when you're dealing with anxiety, depression, or different other mental illnesses, you find out by way of a situation that you might go through that ends up triggering that part, some kind of trauma, or just, it just happens and you're stuck with it and you're like, okay, how did this happen? So for me, the way it happened was I had taken some cold and sinus medicine, some Tylenol cold and sinus medicine that had some decongestant in it. I went to sleep, woke up that next morning, and I felt good. My cold felt like it was gone. Right. But all of a sudden, I ended up having a panic attack. And I felt like I was going to die. That's how it feels, you know, because you have racing thoughts, you feel dizzy, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to die. And that's what I kept telling my grandmother. I was like, I feel like I'm going to die. And so she ended up calling 911, get to the hospital, and they tell me you had a panic attack. And I was like, what is that? I had no idea, never heard of it before. And that started my journey. And what I found out was that particular situation was a trigger. It kind of opened the door to something that I already had a precursor to, or that was already in my bloodline some kind of way. So it was definitely a battle all those years. But I wanted to talk about it because, as we spoke before on the show, the idea of mental health is a very taboo topic. People don't like to talk about it, and especially in the African American community, but it's not limited to African American communities.
Which is dumb to me, because no one likes to talk about it in our community. That's why a lot of people just live with it and they just kind of suck it up, I guess.
Yeah.
And it usually hurts us until it's too late.
Yeah, and it affects a lot of people. And the thing about it is, when you are a person who deals with mental illness, it doesn't just affect you, it also affects your loved ones, because they are affected directly by it. They see this happening to you. They, in most cases, don't know how to address it, don't know how to deal with it. And so it can be very, very tough. I know for the people in my life who are connected to me and have seen me go through it, it's tough for them, and especially because they don't fully understand it. It's like, how can you not control your own thoughts? How can you not do that? You know, but if you're a person who's never dealt with any type of mental illness, it is going to be difficult for you to understand. So tonight we're talking about, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We're going to pull the covers off of it a bit, and it's going to be a little tense, but it's worth the discussion. We're also going to do, after this break that we're going to have, we're not getting ready to take a break now, but after the next break that we have, we're going to do a stress test assessment. And everybody, all of you, all of the listeners, you get to take that test with us.
But you know what blows me though? I want to start by saying this. It irritates me when, like, you try to talk to people, because at some point everyone with a mental health problems has tried to talk to someone in some way, shape, or form. And when they build up enough to be able to actually openly talk to someone, they always dismiss it.
Right.
And then they want to come back and try to act like, oh, this is new to me, or like they act brand new to the problem, as if someone didn't just try to talk to them before.
Right.
Like, it's a problem when people just dismiss things like that. Like, I was always taught, especially in school, they do teach you that if someone comes to you with anything regarding anything that may endanger their own life, or is anything that serious, you should not take it as a joke.
Right.
Because if you do take it as a joke, whether they're kidding or not, if they're not kidding, then something bad can really happen.
I agree with that. Absolutely. And I usually don't pass as much judgment on those people who don't know how to respond, because they just don't know. And a lot of times when people do come and they finally do open up about their mental illness, the person that's hearing this or receiving that information, they either don't know, don't fully understand, are scared to deal with it themselves, so they dismiss it, or because it's been such taboo in their life, they're like, oh man, you'll get over it, you know. And it's because it's not a topic that's normally talked about. It's not a topic that's normally discussed, so people don't know how to embrace it, you know. So that's why we have platforms like this, so we can talk about it, so it's not taboo. So yes, this is something that people deal with. People have mental illness challenges, and we're gonna discuss it. It needs to be discussed. It needs to be opened up. I know, particularly for me, when my family members and all saw that I had this issue, it was scary for them. They didn't know how to support me because they didn't fully understand what the illness was that I was dealing with. So they either wanted to dismiss it, or they were like, you don't need to be acting like that, or they didn't know how to give me the proper support that I needed. And a lot of times that is what happens. People don't know how to support a person who has mental illnesses, mental illness challenges. But with the proper education, with seeking help, with talking to the right people as the supporter, you can learn how to give a person who has mental illness challenges the help and support that they need.
Right. I know when I go through what I go through, I don't want to be around nobody. Like, I just want to be to myself and like get through it by myself. But then I realized that ain't doing nothing but, you feel me, just hurt myself more because I'm not opening up to people.
Yeah.
I just know I like to stay to myself. Stay to myself. Because what happens is I might wind up saying something or hurting somebody close to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it ain't even gotta be like that.
Yeah. There are definitely different levels to mental illness challenges. And isolation, though, in some instances is not healthy because you're left to your own devices and thoughts. So in some, especially when you get into deep depression, and we're kind of skipping along a little bit, but we're kind of feeding off of our conversation. But when you get into deep depression, that's one of the final stages, is when you start to isolate yourself, unplug from people. And that's when the most damage happens, because you're left to your own thoughts.
Exactly.
There's no one there to help you reason with your thoughts and with what's going on. And so it becomes dangerous, and that's how suicides happen. Because you feel like, oh, nobody understands me, nobody gets it, I don't have any friends, I don't have any loved ones that I can trust. This is the type of language, you feel like life isn't worth living, all of those different things. So when you isolate yourself, you're stuck with those negative thoughts, and they begin to impact, and you have no healthy way to release it. So that's why I always say that isolation is not the healthiest way to cope with any kind of, now frustrations, like if you're upset about something, you need a second to cool off. That's different, but then from a mental illness, that's like totally different. So
it'd be hard though, like you don't want to talk to nobody, you just want to stay to yourself.
And as soon as you go to yourself, your mind starts racing, and everything just falls apart.
I've had those thoughts. You feel me? Like those suicide thoughts, but like I would never do nothing like that. But those thoughts definitely come across my mind. Like, man, forget that. So I'm like, just in my mind, but I'm not really going to do it.
See, personally, when I get like that, I just go and I isolate myself for days. No, starts with minutes, then hours, then days, then weeks, and then I just fall apart, and then anything could happen.
That's why I say the isolation part is dangerous.
Especially when you got friends that don't understand why
it's hard.
Why you're not communicating with them? Like you're not even telling them what's wrong with you. You just shut it off, and then they mad at you, and then that adds more to it. You feel me? So.
It adds more trauma to the trauma you already experiencing.
I never do that a lot.
All right, so let's do this. I was doing some research before I came here, and I wanted to make sure I had some information to give everybody. I don't like to talk on these topics and don't actually have some facts and some real information you can walk away with, because it's not just about my opinion on mental health, but you need to walk away with some real information that you can use. So I went to mentalhealth.gov, and that is a department with the Department of Health and Human Services. And what I like about this particular article that I researched is that it actually lays out some of the myths of mental health problems and then back it up with some facts. So let's do that. That's actually a fun way to actually talk about it, because this topic is real heavy. You start talking about mental health, people start tensing all the way up, like,
I'm just thinking about the old how it used to be, like, used to want attention from everybody like that, like, man.
Yeah, and for guys it's so much harder, because women naturally, we talk about our issues. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it to our boo. We gonna talk to our girlfriend on the phone. We gonna talk about it. But for men, it's a lot harder because y'all don't necessarily talk about it as quickly
we
as
feel like
we did.
we feel like we can just take care of it ourselves,
right?
But we need help too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Actually, what I was just telling Brandon, I have a habit, a very bad habit that developed. I felt like, y'all know anything about Greek mythology?
A little bit. I learned some of it in college. Yes.
So do you know Atlas, the Titan, who they made hold up the world?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically he was, for the people who don't know, Atlas was a Titan. When the gods overthrew the Titans, they made Atlas hold up the entire world on his own. Now, I've always felt like I was a person to shoulder other people's burdens, so I would always come and I would take their burden so that they can go on and kind of live in peace with a peace of mind while it weighs me down. So I would just try to help as many people as possible, and I saw myself as a sacrifice.
Yeah, and that's tough, and especially when you're dealing with mental health issues, and when you add that part where you take on the burdens of others, that makes it so much worse, because you'll put the needs of others before your own, even when you are obviously in a depressive or an anxious state. What that other person feels or needs or thinks comes before your own needs, and that is absolutely unhealthy. I mean, we use the example all the time of being on a plane, right? And you know how they show you the oxygen mask, and they always tell you to take the oxygen mask first and then give it to somebody else who might need it. So, and yes, that is a very familiar example, but it's the truth. If you are not taking care of yourself, there is no way you can effectively help somebody else. So you need to be making sure that you're mentally well, because then also what could happen is that the issues that you're dealing with, you can also transfer that to others. You see what I'm saying? So it's a twofold thing. Not only will you be ineffective in being able to help people, but then your burdens you can place on them. So you think you're helping them, but you're not. That's
why I'm glad that when I started working at the schools, because that kind of like matured me. Because it's like I'm inspiring these kids every day and they look up to me. Like, I can't be stressing myself out and telling them not to stress themselves out like that.
You
like,
can't. No.
Nah. So
I mean, you can, but but truthfully, you're hurting yourself, right?
Because I'm hurting myself and I'm hurting them. So
absolutely. Yeah. All right, so let's get into this. I told you that I got an article from mentalhealth.gov, and it talks about some of the myths of mental health, and then we're going to talk about the facts. So one of the myths is mental health problems don't affect me. Mental health problems don't affect me, and that's a myth. And the fact to back that up is that mental health problems are actually very common. In 2014, about 1 in 5 American adults experienced a mental health issue. And a lot of times, the fact is, people don't know that they're having a mental health crisis. They just don't pay attention to the signs, and even don't know what the signs are. Also, 1 in 10 young people experienced a period of major depression. And 1 in 25 Americans lived with a serious mental illness such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or major depression. And they live with it because they don't know what the signs are. They're uneducated about it. And it was funny because somebody else came on the show a couple of weeks ago, and when Derek was talking about autism, and I don't classify that as a mental illness. I don't. They just learn, people with autism or children with autism, they just learn differently. So I don't classify that as a mental illness. But if somebody is dealing with a mental disorder, back in the day, they would just be like, oh, that's Uncle Johnny. He got a little something with him, and just brush him off into the corner and don't fully deal with it. Okay, so we got to get ready to go to break. This topic is getting hot and heavy, but we're going to talk a little bit more about it after the break, and we're going to take the stress and coping self-test. So you have to stay tuned to the Be Inspired Radio Show right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, this the man that holds it down, Mr. Showtime, D the Boss.
Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
So yeah, people that gravitate towards the simple fact that they just sit around and look at your comments and look at what you post on Facebook or social media for that matter, and they see the videos and they see the the messages, and they quickly assume that it's about them. But people understand this, that there are 50 billion more people in this world other than your goddamn self. So it's not everybody is going to be talking about you. And I know quite few people, and I said that to the person. I said, I just don't know you.
Right.
I know a lot of other people. I love music.
Hey everybody, this is your girl, the magical Anissa Maureen. Make sure you tune in to the Charm City Direct Radio Show every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m.
Thank you for tuning in.
Do yourself a favor and listen to this hilarious flashback on Charm City Direct Radio Show.
You know me. I eat like this all the time. Do I gain any weight? No, at all. You can have my belly, right? I'm giving away body parts. Somebody said they need a butt. Somebody said they need
I can use a little extra tissue there.
I can pop it right now.
He out here giving out butt cheek donations.
Hey everybody, it's your girl, the magical glow getter herself, Anissa Maureen, co-host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Catch me and the rest of my team every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Monty from Talk Lately. I want y'all to sit back and listen to this flashback. We be tripping.
I mean, really, but I mean, he might have. I got him maybe jacking her up.
The kids said he did it.
But this is Floyd Mayweather punching her head repeatedly, and like she doesn't have like brain damage.
No, she didn't have brain damage. I don't think he was hitting her like that. Or he probably was like, say something else. Say something else.
That
he probably wasn't like tagging her.
Right.
He probably was just like, and the kids was like, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy.
Why do they have that accent? Why? Why do his kids have that accent?
I just pictured them looking like African. Oh. I didn't want to have to admit that. I don't know what they're going to do about my mouth, but just check out the show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's more of the same right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, family, to the Be Inspired Radio Show right here on BeExposedRadio.com with your girl, Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
The artisan angel HL7 Azrael.
And Blizzard, he'll be back in just a second. He went to go get Aisha Edwards, yay, who is in the building. Oh Lord, our bell is not working. It's sick. It's sick.
Wired.
So Blizzard will be back in a second. Aisha is in the building with us tonight. She is the founder of Do It All Girl, and she is a finance expert. She'll be hanging out with us talking about real estate investment and home buying. So you definitely don't want to miss that. That'll be at 8:18. You don't want to miss it. And also we're going to be talking about the importance of real estate readiness. I cannot wait because I'm actually in the home buying process right now, my husband and I, and I'm excited about that. So it'll be cool to get some tips on home buying. Are y'all interested in buying a home? What y'all trying to do?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I am, but I'm focused on my first place.
Oh yeah, we got to get you moved out all together in your own place.
But then hopefully one day I will get my grandmother's house.
Right. And then, so the other thing Aisha pointed out that we'll talk about a little bit more. You'll find out if home buying is for you. So that's actually a different perspective that people don't necessarily talk about. But we will get a chance to talk about that later on in the show. Also, I told you in the beginning of the show that I'm still getting birthday gifts. Yeah. I received this beautiful card in the mail. I'm going to try to hold it up so y'all can see it. From Elaine Williams. She is one of my very, very good Facebook friends, and she is known as the Card Lady. She was nice enough to create this, and I did say create this birthday card. She even put a picture of me in it. Hot, right? I hope y'all can see that. I don't know if you can. But isn't that nice? She created this card. So I wanted to give a shout out to Elaine Williams. Thank you so much. She sent this card to me all the way from Williamsburg, New Mexico.
Oh, right. I thought you were about to say Virginia.
No, Williamsburg, New Mexico. That's why I said it like that. Because she sent the card all the way to me from there. And the card says, "Happy birthday to you, Naomi. May your life be brighter as each birthday comes and goes, with new happiness unfolding like the petal of a rose. Have a wonderful birthday, Elaine." So shout out Elaine. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that. And she is a fan of the show and a fan of Miss Be Inspired, and I appreciate that. And that was nice of her to send that card. So y'all got to check her out. She is Elaine Williams, and her company is called Send Out Cards, and she's out of Williamsburg, Nebraska. So check her out when you can. I'll try to make sure I post her information on our Be Inspired Radio Show page.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so you know this segment is a little bit short. We only got 3 minutes left.
I'm about to say, I thought you said 30 seconds.
No, I know, right? But so this is what we're doing. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about mental health awareness, because this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And also yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day. And if you didn't know, I was diagnosed with panic disorder when I was 18 years old, which is something I've been dealing with for quite some time. But through counseling, and especially through my faith in God, I've been able to overcome. And I talk about it a lot because I want people to know that you can thrive even after being diagnosed with a mental disorder or a mental illness. I'm at the place now where you can see I'm on a radio show. I've written books. I mean, God has allowed me to do so much. So I didn't allow my mental illness diagnosis to run my life. I did what I had to do to find out what I needed to do to get well. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about not being afraid to get counseling, not being afraid to get the help that you need, not being afraid to talk about it. Yes, people might not fully understand, but then there are people out there who do and who are willing to help you through it. So I promise you that you will be okay. If you are somebody who is dealing with it, I want to encourage you that you can get through it. I am a living witness. So Demita, wow. Hey Demita, oh my God, yes, this is my girl. She is a fellow Ouch girl, if you didn't know. And she said that I was diagnosed with PTSD. If you don't know what that is, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. And she said she was 15 when she was diagnosed with that. So you just never know what somebody has dealt with in their life. And that's why it's important to talk about it. There's a scripture in the Bible says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. We've got to share how we've come through things. You don't know how powerful that is and how that can impact somebody else. How many seconds do we have? We down to 30 seconds. All right. So we're getting ready to take another break. But this next segment, we'll have about 15 minutes to spend with you, and we'll be able to talk a little bit more on this topic of mental health. And I want to say mental health. I don't want to focus on the mental illness part. I want to talk about the mental health awareness, and we're going to talk about that some more after the break. So stay tuned to the Be Inspired Radio Show right here on BeExposedRadio.com. You know what to do. Stay tuned.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today.
It's time for flashback.
Ladies, are you in need of the best quality hair extensions, a cute outfit, or that perfect pair of shades? Pink Ice products can cover you from head to toe, from flawless weaves to apparel. Visit us online at pinkiceproducts.bigcartel.com. We're located at 3000 Old Alabama Road, 119-303, Alpharetta, Georgia. Or give us a call at 470-488-6484. Come on in and check out Pink Ice products today.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, oh gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her for president. But she's not running. We have this old guy that looks like he should be on the popcorn box. Then we have Martin O'Malley. Fine. We'll settle if we must. Hillary, who I like, but she just has to fight against all this controversy, and that's the hard part of it all. Then we have Huckabee. I could have swore he died, like in one of those books, like a fairy tale book. Trump. We're going to get to you in a moment. Meet with all these black folk in one room, and they just fell for it. Like, he must have been giving out $100 bills behind it.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Be Inspired Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. You're here with HL7 Azrael.
Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
And you already know your boy Blizzard.
It almost happened with y'all too.
I know.
So
I was like, first of all,
I was being a gentleman. I was like,
ladies first. Jinx, you owe me 2 sodas.
But before we go into the stress test and the other things, we actually have a comment from Nate. It was friends and family play a big role in helping us point out where we're going, what we're going through, because we don't always feel it.
That's true. That is absolutely true. I agree with that. We might have to move this bell.
Right, from
because that cord keep on messing up our bell game. But that is so true, and our family and our friends are our biggest supporters because they are the ones that are closest to us, and but they can also be the ones that don't fully understand and could add stress because they don't know how to handle it. And it's not their fault. It's just sometimes people don't know. They're not educated about it. They don't know the signs. You don't know the signs. You know, you going through mental health and you don't realize what's happening to you. The people around you don't fully understand it, and that's because it's so taboo. Again, people just don't talk about it. And then when you finally do go to a counselor, some people aren't as receptive to what's being said in those counseling sessions. And it's no indictment against them. It's just that we live in a society where we're expected to be strong all the time, that we can never be weak, that we can never have any challenges in our life, or that we're not supposed to ever let it get us down. When truthfully, yes, sometimes the stresses that we go through, it impacts us. It takes us there. We want to give up, you know, but the fact is to not stay there. So it happens. You do get to that point where life is just too much. There's, you know, so many different things may have happened to you. You may have dealt with some type of abuse. Again, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month also. So you may have dealt with some domestic violence abuse. You may have dealt with different things in your life, sexual abuse, or, you know, family members who may have not treated you well. You may have dealt with rejection. All kinds of things can cause you to want to give up on life, or to get depressed, or to be anxious. They can all be triggers, but the fact is just to not stay there. Recognize that there's something is just not quite right, and get the help you need. I was looking at Black-ish last night. Was it last night? Yeah, last night. And the character, Tracy Ellis Ross's character, just had a baby, and she was dealing with postpartum, but she didn't want to really admit it. Her husband knew it. Her family members knew something was wrong, and she's a doctor, but she didn't want to admit that something was going on with her. But her husband, he didn't stop until he got her to go see someone and get the help that she needed. And once she got the help she needed, took the medicine that she needed, she started to feel better. And so the fact is, for one thing, to not be in denial that you need help, that you're stressed out, that something is overwhelming for you. A lot of times, again, especially as women, we carry so much at one time. We're expected to be everybody's hero. Women, I'm just saying, you don't even have to have kids just because of your nature. You know, you're expected to be that one, that nurturer, that person that everybody can come to. And that can be very stressful. And sometimes a lot of times you put yourself on the back burner for people in your life. So the fact is, we got to get to the point where we admit that something is going on, get the help that you need, and get healthy. And that's what it's about. We don't want to focus on the illness part. We want to talk about the wellness part, that you can get to the place where you're healthy, that you can cope with those things that you're dealing with. So with that being said, as promised, yes, we are about to take the stress and coping self-test. So everybody get a pen, get your pen, come on, get your pen. Hey family, get your pen, get a piece of paper. Get your piece of paper.
Can I borrow a piece of paper?
This is always fun when we do these tests like this. Make sure you get it, all right? Okay, so let me, Annie actually gave a comment.
Back of it.
Annie said, I want to make sure I read her comment before we do this. She says, I have been there and I still go through it at times. It's not easy thing to deal with, especially by yourself. That is the truth, Annie. I'm telling you, you know, dealing with any kind of mental illness, stress, anxiety, any of that, it's hard to deal with by yourself. And one of the things we talked about before the break was not isolating yourself. That's a very dangerous place to be in. But when you don't feel like you don't have anybody, it's like, what do you do? So that's definitely a real issue. But let's get to this test. Okay, so does everybody have a pen? If you have a pen and you're watching via Facebook Live, just put as Valisi always says, put a 1 in the comments so we know that you're ready. Just put a 1 or just start hearting and give us some reactions to let us know you're ready. Okay, so we're getting ready to get started. Are you ready? Okay, so the first question, and if you're just tuning in, we are taking a stress and coping self-test. And the instructions is, thank you, Annie. Okay, so if you are ready, come on, let us know. Put a 1 in the comments because we want to make sure you have your pen and your paper. Okay, so the instructions is, answer all 18 of the following questions about how you feel and how things have been going with you during the past month. You're going to mark the response that best applies to you. Well, in this instance, what you're going to do is you're going to rate yourself from a 5 to a 0. And then at the end, you're going to add up all of your numbers, and that's going to tell you what your score is. Okay? So the first question is, how have you been feeling in general? And this is how you answer it. 5, in an excellent frame of mind. 4, in a very good mood. 3, in a good mood mostly. 2, my mood has been up and down. Or 1, in a poor frame of mind mostly. Or 0. You can also do 0. 0, in a very poor frame of mind. So the question is, how have you been feeling in general? 5, in an excellent frame of mind. 4, in a very good mood. 3, in a good mood mostly. 2, my mood has been up and down. 1, in a poor frame of mind mostly. And 0, in a very poor frame of mind. Number 2, have you been bothered by nervousness? Have you been bothered by nervousness? 5, not at all. And make sure you're writing your number down. 5, not at all. 4, a little. 3, some, enough to bother me. Yes, quite a bit. That's 2. And 1, yes, very much so. Or 0, extremely so, to the point where I could not work or take care of things. Okay, did you get your score down? If I'm going too fast, let me know. And if you're just tuning in, we're taking a stress and coping self-test. We're talking about mental health awareness. This month is deemed as mental health awareness. And also yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day. And so tonight we want to focus on that. And as I shared with everyone, when I was 18, I was diagnosed with panic disorder and depression and dealt with that for many years. And so I wanted to make sure that I focused on that tonight. Okay, so let's go to question number 3. Have you been in firm control of your behavior, thoughts, emotions, and feelings? Again, have you been in firm control of your behavior, thoughts, emotions, and feelings? 5, yes, definitely so. 4, yes, for the most part. 3, generally so. 2, not too well. No, and I am somewhat troubled by that. Or 0, no, I am very troubled by that. All right, let's go on to number 4. We have quite a few, so even if we have to, do some now and do some after the break, we're going to make sure we get through this because we want to find out what our stress level is. Okay, so number 4, here we go. Have you been feeling sad, discouraged, or hopeless, or had so many problems that you wondered if anything was worthwhile? 5, not at all. 4, a little. 3, some, enough to bother me. Yes, quite a bit. And that's 2. 1, yes, very much so. And 0, extremely so, to the point that I have just about given up. And these answers, you have to answer it honestly, because at the end, once we tally up your scores, we want to make sure that you are getting the right result. So that way you can get the help that you need. Number 5, have you been feeling that you were under any strain, stress, or pressure? 5, not at all. 4, a little. 3, about the same amount as usual. Yes, more than usual, and that's 2. I have to make sure I'm saying the number. 1, yes, quite a bit of pressure, and 0, yes, almost more than I could bear. If I'm going too fast, let me know. Leave some comments in the Facebook Live, and if you're tuned in via YouTube, also leave us some comments and let us know. Okay, number 6. How happy or satisfied have you been with your personal life? This is a good one.
Yeah, that's real good.
How happy or satisfied have you been with your personal life? Okay, 5, extremely happy. 4, very happy. 3, fairly happy. 2, somewhat satisfied. 1, somewhat dissatisfied. And 0, very dissatisfied.
This is fine.
I know, right?
I feel like I'm in school again.
Okay,
Like,
let me see how many questions we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we can do it. We're going to get through this.
How many more do we have?
12.
We got 12.
Yeah. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right, so here we go. And we have to answer them all because we want to make sure we get the right score.
Right.
Okay, here we go. The next question is, have you had any reason to wonder if you were losing your mind or memory or losing control over the way you act, talk, think, or feel? Again, the question is, have you had any reason to wonder if you were losing your mind or memory or losing control over the way you act, talk, think, or feel? 5, not at all. 4, only a little. 3, some, but not enough to be concerned. 2, some, and I have been a little concerned. 1, some, and I am quite concerned. Or 0, yes, a lot, and I am very concerned. Okay, moving on to the next one. Have you been anxious, worried, or upset? 5, not at all. 4, a little. Are y'all writing down y'all scores?
I already have my score.
Bliss.
I'm good.
We on number. Your score?
Yeah, we on number 8.
Okay, 4, a little. 3, some, to bother me. 2, yes, quite a bit. 1, yes, very much so, and 0, yes, extremely so, to the point of being sick or almost sick. You know why it's funny? It's because when you're actually faced with having to answer these questions about your life, you like, man.
No, I feel like he's laughing at me because I'm brushing my forehead against this. Like I'm just over here, just like.
Hey, and are you okay?
He's nervous over there.
He's laughing at me.
You nervous to see what your score is going to be?
I already know what my score is about to be. It's about to be terrible. Like.
All right, come on, we got to keep it going.
Oh, yeah,
and if you're just tuning in, we're taking a stress and coping self-test. And we're trying to figure out what our score is so we'll know what our level of stress is. The next question is, how often have you awakened, refreshed, and rested? In other words, how often have you gotten up in the morning and you felt refreshed and rested? 5, every day. 4, almost every day. 3, fairly often. 2, less than half the time. 1, rarely. And 0, none of the time.
That was sad.
Next question, and we're halfway done, so we're almost done, y'all. Y'all are hanging in there. Thank you, everybody.
Really make you think about your life.
It does. Okay, so we have 1 minute. Let me see if I can get this last question in. All right.
You got it.
Have you been bothered by an illness, bodily disorder, pain, or fear about your health? 5, not at all. 4, a little. 3, some of the time. 2, yes, a good bit of the time. 1, yes, most of the time. And 0, yes, all of the time.
Oh, man,
and make sure you're recording your scores down on a piece of paper. So if you're tuned in, get your piece of paper and your pen and record your scores. Okay, so we're getting ready to take a break. When we come back, we're going to finish up the test and then tally up our scores. I think you'll be interested to know what your score is. And some of you may be more stressed than you think you are, and some of you might not be as stressed as you think you are. So let's stay tuned in so we can find out what your score is. You're listening to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Thank you very much.
Because they had nothing else to do.
So it was like, imagine that your late husband was actually your father. I can't imagine that because that's disgusting.
Very much so.
And then I would have to clean my basement because that's where my actual father resides right now. So, okay. The 60-year-old woman learned the truth about her husband, Percy, 6 years after he passed away.
Not Percy, though. Percy doesn't sound like that name.
Percy just sounds like a feminine boy.
Really?
Yeah.
But nobody told
you don't think
you
it?
at no point.
Like Percy, look at Percy over there with his purse.
His name Percy.
He always switching.
And you just keep laughing at him.
That's a joke. What do you call it? What's the gay boy's name?
Percy.
Percy.
What are you doing, Percy? I don't even know what to say about this one, and I'm the one that said it. Oh my gosh, we're here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. The conversations can get deep, they can get out of this world, but we do them. BeExposedRadio.com. Talk Lately, the radio show.
Do yourself a favor and listen to this hilarious flashback on Charm City Direct Radio Show.
You know me. I eat like this all the time. Do I gain any weight? No, at all. You can have my belly right now. I'm giving away body parts. Somebody said they need a butt. Somebody said they need a butt.
I can use a little extra tissue there.
I can pop it right now.
He out here giving out butt cheek donations.
Hey everybody, it's your girl, the magical glow getter herself, Anissa Maureen, co-host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Catch me and the rest of my team every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Yeah, we back live on the Be Inspired Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's your boy, you already know your boy Blizzard.
And your girl, Miss Be Inspired, on the mic.
And the artisan Angel HL7 Azrael.
And thank you to everybody who stayed tuned in. We appreciate you. And if you're just joining the show, welcome, and we appreciate you. If you didn't know, we're talking about mental health awareness because this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and also yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day. So in observance of that, we decided to talk about it and really uncover some things that most people try to cover up or don't feel comfortable talking about. Again, if you did not know, when I was 18 years old, I was diagnosed with panic disorder and depression. And definitely it's been a battle over the years, but I'm grateful for how the Lord has brought me through, how God, I attribute my healing to the fact that I have a relationship with God. I am deeply spiritual, and also that I got help. I went to see a counselor. I talked to a psychotherapist who was able to help me through the process to get where I am today. And it was definitely a blessing. And losing my mother was definitely a blow. Like, I never thought I would lose my mother at 22 years old. Still very much a young woman, still needing a mother in my life. And you know, and she was gone, and that definitely impacted me even more. So being a young woman, being diagnosed with that at 18 and then losing my mother at 22, it was like an unbelievable thing that you know, a lot of people go through. I'm not the only person in this world who has dealt with it, but I am willing to talk about it. And so that's why we're talking about it tonight, to just bring some awareness to it, that you never know who's dealing with it. And that's why it's important to talk about it, because you don't know who you can help by sharing your story. So before we left, we were giving a stress and coping self-test. I want to continue that because I want us to measure what our stress level is. And I'm sorry, because I wish everybody was here from the beginning, because if you're just getting here, it's going to be kind of hard for you to take the test and get the proper score. But if you've been taking the test before the break, we're getting ready to finish that now. So we left off, what was the question we left off? Have you been bothered by?
Yeah, we on number 11 now.
Okay, so we're going to go into the next one. Okay, so the next question is, has your daily life been full of things that were interesting to you? 5, yes, all the time. 4, yes, most of the time. 3, yes, a good bit of the time. 2, some of the time. 1, a little. And 0, not at all. The next question is, have you been feeling downhearted and blue? 5, not at all. 4, a little bit. 3, some of the time. 2, yes, a good bit of the time. 1, yes, most of the time. And 0, yes, all of the time. The next question is, have you been feeling emotionally stable and sure of yourself? 5, yes, all of the time. 4, yes, most of the time. 3, yes, a good bit of the time. 2, most of the time. 1, a little, and 0, not at all. The next question is, have you been feeling tired, worn out, used up, or exhausted? 5, not at all. 4, a little. 3, some of the time. 2, yes, a good bit of the time. 1, yes, most of the time. And yes, all of the time. We're almost there, so hang in there, hang in there. All right, here we go. Next question, and we have only 4 more to go, so you're doing good. How concerned or worried have you been about your health? Okay, so now this is a scale from 10 to 0. So rate yourself. How concerned or worried have you been about your health? Rate yourself from a 0 to 10.
That's number 14, right?
Yeah. Rate yourself from a 0 to 10. How concerned or worried have you been about your health? Okay, and the next one is, how relaxed or tense have you been? Rate yourself from a 0 to 10. How relaxed or tense have you been? And rate yourself from a 0 to 10.
What's the measurement? 10 meaning?
Oh, 10 meaning very relaxed, with 0 meaning very tense, and 10 being very relaxed.
All right, bro.
So let me go back to the question before then. How concerned or worried have you been about your health? Rate yourself from a 0 to 10, with 0 being very concerned and 10 being not concerned at all. And then the question after that was, how relaxed or tense have you been? With 0 being very tense and 10 being very relaxed. Okay, and then the next question, we're almost done. How much energy, pep, or vitality have you had? Rate yourself from a 0 to 10, with 0 being no energy at all, listless, and 10 very energetic, dynamic. The language of this thing is something else.
Oh, man.
And the last question, hit that bell. How depressed or cheerful have you been? Rate yourself from a 0 to 10, with 0 being very depressed and 10 being very cheerful. So now add up your scores. Add up your scores. Add up your scores, family.
Now I can add it up.
And then I will tell you what the coping score is. So I'll give you a second to do that. So if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. We're talking about mental health awareness, and it's an important topic because a lot of times it's something that people do not discuss. It is a very taboo topic. I'm at the place where I'm free enough to talk about my encounter with mental health challenges, and I'm grateful that I am, because some people never get to the point where they're well enough to share their story. But for those of us who are, it's important that we share it and we talk about it. So have you had a chance to tally up your score?
Yep.
All right, boom. Here's the coping score. If you scored a 76 through 110, you're coping well. You are in the positive well-being zone. If you scored anywhere from a 71 to a 75, you are marginal. And 9.1% of the population is in that same group. 56 through 70, not coping very well. You are in the stress zone.
Yo, I knew it.
And if you scored a 0 through 55,
no, Ezra,
you are not coping well at all. You are in the distress zone. So that means that you're at the point where you are totally overwhelmed. So how did y'all do, fam? Let us know. Leave us some comments. Feel free to call us at 410-702-5657 if you'd like to discuss your score, or if you want to share some of your experiences or things that you have dealt with in terms of mental health issues.
I got a 64.
Drop your scores in the comments. What's your score?
Not coping. I got coping well, but that's because I've gotten the help that I've needed. Not because I'm in denial, because I have.
No, it's your turn, Ezra.
Oh, she got a 44.
Oh, okay, yes.
I thought that was bad.
And you know what? It's not uncommon for people to score low on stress tests.
No, man.
Because the fact is, we're faced with all kinds of stressors throughout our life. I mean, every day. And think about it. Every time you turn on the news, it's something negative going on. It's something that could cause you to be stressed. People are stressed out by world events and things that's going on, not even just the things that's happening in their life, but the condition of our world, shootings and all that stuff.
Well, Ezra, what's your score, man?
I got a 30.
Okay.
All
right, so we got to take a break.
I just want to know your
score. Are we okay? So I think we're getting ready to actually go into Aisha's segment. Is it 8:18?
Oh, it's past that.
That's 8:28.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So listen, family, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we're not getting ready to leave. No. But we are getting ready to go into our next segment with Aisha Edwards, who is our finance expert. And she is also the founder of Do It All Girl. But before the show is over, we're going to talk a little bit more recap on mental health. So stay tuned to the Be Inspired Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. Like I've learned I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do. I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids and when you got a wife and then you doing everything and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Oh, bloopers. Welcome back, everybody, to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com with your host, Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
Yeah. You already know your boy Blizzard.
And the artist and angel HL7, Azrael.
And now the time you've all been waiting for. Our very special contributor of the Be Inspired Radio Show, Aisha Edwards.
Hey.
Yes.
What's up, everyone?
She is absolutely awesome at what she does. First of all, she is the founder of Do It All Girl, which is an amazing organization, which you'll find out more about. She'll talk about that a little bit. And she is also, I say, a finance expert. Is that how you'd like to? Yeah,
that's good.
That's good.
That's a good description.
That's a good description.
I've been all around the finance industry, so I have a good bit of knowledge across the board.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we value that. I'm telling you, we living in a world. So if you didn't know, folks, and we're going to tie it in. So that's why we're both talking, because we're going to tie in the topic of mental health awareness in with finance. But if you did not know, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day. And so in observance of that, we wanted to talk about that on the show. And so, yes, finance is one of those things, as Aisha pointed out before we came on the show, that is a huge stressor for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I know for me, myself, the reason why I began to actually learn about finance in general, as for my own finances, and to start to help work with other people and help other people, was because I really saw how it contributed to their wellness. It contributed to their sense of confidence to be able to feel like they could take care of themselves in any circumstances. And I mean, not being able to pay for your basic needs, or looking at, you know, a tunnel worth of debt and not knowing what to do next, that's a huge problem for a lot of people everywhere.
So, I mean, talk about some of the impacts that finance could have on your health, or some of those pain points for people. I know you talked about it a little bit, but a little bit more, because I know people want to know, or they deal with it on a regular basis and really don't understand what that looks like.
Okay. Well, firstly, one of the things that I think people don't really recognize is, you know, when you're thinking about your health and how your finances impacted, when you're not able to take care of your basic needs, and you're not able to do some of, you know, recreational things, maybe take a vacation or take a break, or even decide whether this is the right job for you. You know, there are 3 ways we earn our money. We can earn it with our ideas, we can earn it with our physical labor, and we can earn it by taking our money to make more money. And when we don't really know how to use all of those to our advantage, we wind up stuck. And for example, you could be stressed on a job that is not well matched towards you, and you're afraid to make moves. And as a matter of fact, for a lot of people, it might even impact their ability to get a next job or negotiate a better salary so they can be in a better position, because they're so stressed that, you know, they'll just take the first offer they get, move on to the next thing, which may or may not be the right thing for them.
So I know you said your topic was home buying and real estate investment, and that can be stressful.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that we focus on at Do It All Girl is really to bring out our inner investor, so you can start switching your mind to think from, oh my God, you know, I love real estate, or it's just this fun thing to do, I know everybody makes money at it, to really thinking about how I should be thinking about investing for myself as kind of a money-making area. Many times we see a home and we're like, okay, I want to buy that home, I want space, I want to be free so I can really feel less stress in my life, right? For some people, money really means freedom. But really, you need to start thinking about as an investor, so you don't get under, you know, like over your head, so to speak, when you are looking at things, because, you know, with prices going up and all these different things happening, you could easily get talked into something that you may not know the consequences of, and wind up in an investment that may not be a good idea for you. In other words, your home may not be a good investment for you, which may bring additional stress to you.
That's interesting, because I don't think people really look at home buying as an investment, at least you don't go into it with that mindset.
Absolutely.
So why is it important to look at home buying and as an investment, or as real estate investment?
Okay, so the first thing, when you haven't owned a home, or one of your goals is to own a home based on, you know, the American dream, or just the dream of, you know, buying something that you can call your own, the first thing we're thinking is, oh, that white picket fence, or whatever it was that you thought of as a kid growing up and what that meant for you. And a lot of times, for each individual, they should really be thinking, okay, is this really an asset or a liability? And for most, you know, if you're from regular accounting background, usually they'll say, okay, your home is an asset. They'll put the mortgage debt in the liability column and say, okay, the equity in your home is in essence is your net worth. But really, a single family home, which is really a non-income producing asset, can really be looked at as a liability. I don't know if you've ever had to buy something to replace something in your home, for example, replace the HVAC system.
Oh yeah, the water heater.
Exactly, all that stuff. And that can become very, very stressful if you're in a situation where you need to make repairs to your home. You don't know where that money's coming from. And maybe you're even that system being broke is actually causing your electric bill to be sky high, and you don't even know it, and but you're not able to fix it. You're just able to put a patch on it because you don't really have the income to put into that home. It requires upkeep. It's a liability. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and that all that stuff you have to take into consideration. I'm realizing before you buy the home. And that's a good point that you made too earlier about not getting in over your head and not buying a home that you know you're not going to be able to afford, for one thing, and afford the upkeep. So can you just talk about that portion of it too a little bit as well?
Okay, so some of the things that I think you should be focused on when you're thinking about a home is what is going to be my debt to income ratio. What really happened in the past crisis was we were able to afford more home because interest rates were lower, and the underwriting standards had been, I would say, bent or fully obliterated, right? So people were going, okay, I can spend 50% of my income on my home, or they were getting these structured products that may not have been meant for them, and the underwriters would say, oh, well, your income's going to increase over time, so you're going to be able to pay this when the 5 years comes due, if it was a 5-year interest only, or a 3-year interest only.
So they try to finesse
Right, exactly, right? They got their money and they're gone. You're stuck with it for the next 30 years, right?
You know what? You'll be good in a couple of months.
Absolutely.
In a couple of years, you'll probably get paid more. You probably won't, but you probably will.
Yes, yes.
You got it, Andrew.
Right. And next thing you know, what happens is you're stuck. You're having to pay that mortgage. Your income's not going up, or maybe you have a life change. You have a child, or you want to be able to do some other things, and you can't pay for that because it wasn't included in your, your thought process when you thought about how much can I really pay. So you really want to try to keep your payments under 33%. Which is about, a third of your income, your take-home pay, so that you have some leeway to save and do some other things.
I'm taking notes. That's what I'm doing. So I'm reaching for a pen because I'm taking notes. So you said under 33%?
Yes, ideally. Actually, lenders these days, they don't want you to have anything more than 40% because they're looking at, your student loan payment, the actual payment, how much is going to be the mortgage payment, because they want you to have at least the 60%. It's really to cover them, but at the end of the day, it covers you because you now have, flexible income that you can work with if anything happens. I don't know if you've ever heard of the term buyer's remorse.
Okay, so yes, can I say something? I had that. My very first house I bought, my husband and I were 23. He was 23, he was 24 when we bought our first home. And when we got it, we were like, oh, yeah, it's the best thing that ever happened to us. Got in it and realized there was so much wrong with it. We had half galvanized piping and half copper piping throughout the house. Huge issue. We had a sub pump issue. The sub pump kept backing up, and in a puddle ended up in the back of the home every time it rains. The basement flooded. So when we first got in the home, we had an inspector that was in cahoots with the realtor.
There it is.
And so when they went through the home, they were saying, oh, yes, this is okay, that's okay. And because we were new home buyers and very young, we didn't know. And we were also victims of predatory lending.
Everyone experienced the same thing. So, and that's the thing those are one of the things that I wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
Your agent or the agent working with you may not necessarily be working on your behalf because they're commission based, traditionally. Now we're moving to a model where they have agents that are more paid on a flat rate. But honestly, if they're showing you a home and you said, oh, I can only afford a home that's $300,000. Next thing you know, they've creeped over there just showing you a $325,000 or $350,000 home. Why? It's because they're going to get paid more. So honestly,
I'm going to be honest, because my current job, I do commission. I've seen how like they really be finessing people. like earlier today, it was crazy. One of my managers was talking to another coworker of mine because he found an iPhone charger on the ground. So then I'm like, hold up, let me get that. And then he's like, nah, I'll sell it to you. So I'm like, yo, you don't even have any use for it. You might as well hand it to me. So he's about to hand it to me. And my manager says, nah, I want it. So he's trying to figure out who to give it to. He was like, I'll make sure you get paid quicker. And then he instantly throws him the thing.
Wow.
Mind you, he was getting paid that day regardless.
It's all about the money.
And he straight
Double dip. Yeah, it is all about
him.
All about the money. Everyone.
But like, mind you, he was like, you'll get paid sooner. Everyone was still getting paid at the same time. All he texted was, is this person getting paid today? And there was no response, but we already knew he was getting paid that day.
Wow.
So, straight
scam.
They really will finesse you. It's like, they'll really give you what they're there for, but you may get a little finessed along the way.
A lot.
Absolutely.
It happens. Me personally, I don't like finessing people that badly. So like, I remember, because I met someone who like had better rates and everything than what I had. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna sit here and talk to you. Have a nice day. Not even doing that.
And that's pretty much what happens in the real estate industry, because you have the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, right? You have a mortgage broker. He's trying to get paid, so he might be in cahoots with them. You have the inspector. He's going to get paid. You even have the appraiser that every time you ask them for an appraisal, somehow it miraculously comes back valued at exactly what you're about to pay for the home, or just a little bit more. Right?
That's what happened to us. It was bad. It was so bad.
This is a big thing. So I kind of want to have people thinking, instead of thinking just about a single family home, you might want to consider looking at multifamily property. For example, a 2-family home, a 3-family, or 4-family, and most of those homes will still qualify for a conforming loan, which is a loan that is able to be bought by the GSEs, Fannie and Freddie, under those programs. Now, you may not be able to qualify for some of the other programs where you have a lesser down payment. However, the benefit of that is that you're not all on your own to pay that mortgage. You have income coming in, and you're able to, at the same time, kind of build wealth by having the renters contribute to your mortgage, and at the end of that mortgage you wind up having an asset that's worth more than what you would have been able to buy on your own. So that's this simple way you can start investing. And if that asset starts to appreciate, then you can take money out of that over time and do it again. And that's how a lot of people who started off small, they started off with only a 3 or 4 unit property, renting out to, someone around the way, just providing good housing for people, making sure they check out their tenants and doing their homework. But next thing you know, they were able to take that because it appreciated, refinance, pull money out of that, take that, put it in a down payment into something else.
Wow. I guess think about these things. When most people go into home buying, you're thinking about yourself. You just want a home that you can go into. You don't think about it and in terms of investing.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know I have not. Like right now, I really want a house, but you're making me change my mind, literally, about what I can do, because I can get a house, but I can also be making some money off of that.
There it is. And it's interesting because I remember the last time I was here, someone had said, it's better to pay into my home, meaning to buy a home, than to rent. And it's not necessarily the case in every area. For example, if you can rent for about $1,000 or maybe $1,200 or something, and a mortgage would cost you maybe like $2,500 to $3,000, the difference between those two, you could be investing in a fund and getting a nice return that would help you build up more income that maybe later on you can decide to buy a home with that built up investment that you have been making over time. There's so many stories. I don't know if you've heard of any, but there was a couple in Asia that, which is a very densely populated city, and they said, you know what, home ownership is not for us. It has been so oversold all the time and marketed to get you in and kind of get you in the system. But really, if you just decide to be a renter and invest your money right, you can actually become millionaires. And this couple was millionaire. I think she was 29 and he was 32, and they're millionaires, sitting pretty, and they can do what they want to do.
Wow.
There it is.
Nice. Yeah, see? So, everybody thinks that the American dream is to buy a home. Not necessarily. It may not be for you. Okay, so listen, we're getting ready to take a break. When we come back, more with Aisha, the do-it-all girl herself. and we're going to be talking about real estate investment. Stay tuned to the Be Inspired Radio Show on BigExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
It doesn't say alleged anywhere in here.
This is the wrong song to play underneath this topic.
They're saying 4 years ago, according to a $20 million lawsuit, the plaintiff, who was also not named, met Charlie Sheen in Las Vegas on April the 1st, 2011. The sleeve suit claimed that Sheen entered into a nefarious plot designed to lure plaintiffs into a luxurious hotel room to serve his prurient desires. Sensationally, it was alleged that Sheen... Say what? I
said perverted.
No, it's prurient.
Let me see. Can I where's the point to the word? Right. Prurient.
It's hard. It makes me want to gag. Like cock. Get it? Sensationally, it was alleged Sheen told the man he had no venereal diseases. At that point, they watched the porn and engaged in mutual oral compilation, mutual self-gratification, rubbing and massaging each other, play wrestling, licking, and unprotected intercourse. So, look, my question to my three people here at my panel, are they trying to say, because that's when they said he got this disease 4 years ago, or virus, HIV, 4 years ago. Are they trying to say that he got it from gay sex?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's what they say.
Consensus of the room is
not all the female prostitutes that he was doing. It was the guy.
Just they interjected this one guy in there.
Yeah, you know what that is? That's Sheen having a very good publicist.
Yeah, partly, but partly this is the guy.
That's the best story you could come out with.
Yeah, right. This is the story that made the rest of these stories explode, basically.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey family, welcome back. You made it. You hung out with us for the entire show. Thank you so much. And if you're just tuning in and you missed any part of the show, you'll be able to check out the replay. We'll make sure you get the link to that. I am your girl, Miss Be Inspired on the mic.
Yeah. You already know your boy Blizzard.
And the artisan angel HL7 Azrael.
And we have our very special contributor to the Be Inspired Radio Show, Aisha Edwards.
Hey.
And so we kind of linked our two topics together. We were talking about mental health awareness and stress, and we're also talking about real estate investment. But before we left, we more so went over and talking about real estate investment and some of the myths behind it, and the fact that real estate investment, or when you're thinking about buying a home, you should be thinking about it in terms of investment. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. You should be.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, I've seen people who are staying in homes because they're worried about things of like their credit rate, their credit score, or whether they're going to be eligible to get other things. They almost have a personal connection to some of those things that are being used to rate us, by different agencies. But I'll be honest with you, it is a business transaction. I don't know how many businesses there are. I mean, there are enormous amount of business that have filed bankruptcy. I mean, our very own president has, lots of companies that are always filing for bankruptcy because that's a part of business. However, it's just what it is, right? But we don't think about that when we have a home and we're underwater. We're thinking, oh my God, it's going to impact my credit score. What do? I got to hold on to this thing, and we actually attach feelings and value to this home and maybe even some feelings of failure, which affect our mental health. So I want everyone to know that when you're underwater or you're in a mortgage or a real estate situation that does not make sense for you, you need to be thinking, how can I get out of this situation? Because it may not be to your advantage to remedy it. You might want to just, you know, cut your losses and start over.
That's what we did.
Exactly.
I ain't ashamed.
Yep.
That's what we did. We got the heck up out of there.
So the three methods that people don't know, other than just selling their house outright. One, foreclosure. Now I would say that one is the worst because basically it takes a long time for them to foreclose on you. They're contacting you. You're going back and forth. You probably haven't paid. You're months behind. And that's usually the last resort. Lenders actually don't really want you to foreclose on them because now they're stuck and they have to start from scratch. So the other two methods are actually available, and I don't think a lot of people know about them. Now, you might have heard of them, but you may not know about them. There's short sale. Now, short sale is where they basically just say, okay, you owe $300,000 on this mortgage. We're going to sell your home for $200,000. They might ask you to pay $1,000 or $2,000 into the settlement, and they basically sell it for less than what it is. You get debt forgiveness on that, and you're out. Now, the one thing you need to be cognizant of is when you get debt forgiveness of that size, you actually might have to pay taxes on that. Now, I know back in 2012 and before that, they actually had a law that allowed people to get debt forgiveness on items, and they didn't have to pay the taxes. But that expired. I don't think they're reenacting that. So be cognizant of that. And the other one is a deed in lieu. You can basically give up the keys to the bank and basically say, I don't want it anymore. And you have to ask them to basically forgive you of any further money, so they can come back to you and sue you for the rest of it.
Are you kidding
you
me?
can make an agreement with them such that you give them the keys and write off the debt and just walk away from it, and they'll basically take care of everything from there on out. Yes, you can. And they have programs that actually
never heard of that before.
Deed in lieu of foreclosure. And it has a better impact on your credit score.
Well, I don't plan on doing that. But I'm just saying that's major.
Yeah, I know
oh, my God. Okay, so we only have like 2 minutes left. 1 minute left. Oh, my God. I'm telling you. Okay, so Aisha, we're going to have to figure something out because this is way too much good information just to put on hold. And I know I don't want to wait until, you know, next month. But anyway, everybody, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to the Be Inspired radio show. We had the pleasure of hanging out with Aisha Edwards, do it all girl herself, the fellas Blizz and Azrael, the team, and your girl Miss Be Inspired. Check us out every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on BigExposedRadio.com.
I had got drunk one night. This is the night that I put my head through the window and everything. So.
Why would you do that?
Now, I was sitting on the floor.